You change your mind, you don't want to be in it? Come on, don't leave me alone. What's up, guys? It's Gracie. So yeah, it's been a while since I've done anything on YouTube, but it's time. He's very long. Look how long he is. Jesus Christ. Okay, go on. Okay, so I've got all the questions written out by my little baby cub cat. My little cougar cub, Stephanie. So thanks for doing that. And it's gonna get started before I even try and do an intro and fuck it up. Okay. I'm gonna do my best at pronouncing your Instagram handles, but probably gonna butcher that. Fadsley, Hairloo. Fuck this. Manda! Shit. Fadsley Harold. After being clean off PEDs, was there a strength drop or was strength maintained? Strength drop. I'm just gonna answer these like as blunt because like a lot of them, I didn't really put in the repetitive ones. So if I don't answer your question here, it's probably because I answered a similar one. But yeah, I don't need to get too much in it. Yeah, I did not maintain my strength because I didn't continue to train for strength. Okay. Victorious Glorious. What made you decide to stop PEDs? What differences have you noticed? I didn't want to wake up one day, and this thought had been going on kind of for years, that like I didn't want to wake up one day and be like, oh fuck, I hate what I've created. Like I hate my body. I hate the body that I'm waking up in. So after I had hit a couple really good meets in 2016 and yeah, like smashed a bunch of goals, and it wasn't even like a conscious decision like, okay, I'm done now. It was, I don't know, I just didn't have the desire to go back on shit. Like usually I'd go off of stuff after a meet and then start back up, but I just never started back up because I didn't have a next meet planned. I was focusing on the US Open. It's a big meet that I run in the spring. And yeah, so it wasn't like one thing that made me, or it wasn't because of like my husband, or there wasn't one thing that made me decide to stop. I knew that it wasn't something I wanted to do forever because I didn't want to ever turn into what some of the other women look like. No offense. Inked Angel, was it difficult to keep your strength gains after coming off? If you work hard, will they gains stick around, or does your body drastically change? Yeah, I didn't really keep any gains whenever I came off, but I have seen a lot of women come off and continue to train properly, and they stay really strong. I coach a few of them. Yeah, or maybe they won't come off completely, but they'll still take some stuff. Anyways, that's obviously not the question. Yeah, I have seen women. Okay, well, I guess the question's not for other women, for me. Was it difficult to keep your strength after coming off? I guess I already answered that because I wasn't training seriously for strength. But I do totally believe that if you continue training very hard after you come off, that you will keep a lot of those gains. I've seen bench drop a little bit quicker than the other lifts for people around me that have gone off. But I find the lower body lifts, like squat and deadlift, I think, yeah, there will be a drop, but yeah, it doesn't have to be a huge drop. Frank Daddy 29. Did any side effects while on reside when coming off? Yeah, there was definitely some side effects. I felt like I was really lucky in that department. Yeah, I kept most of the side effects, but some stuff definitely did go away. Not go away. They just kind of diminished a bit. And there's some other questions in here that ask for specifics, so maybe I'll give some more specifics. But I felt like I was lucky in that department because a lot of women, once they've like crossed that line, there is no coming back. I wasn't expecting anything to diminish or go back to the way it was at all. But yeah, it's been about 18 months now, and I've been surprised a little bit in a good way. Okay. Mike, Mike Cleven, PT. How much of a reduced recovery ability have you noticed? Do you have considerably less volume now? Um, well, Kiel, stop. Come here. Get here. Come here. Honestly, I haven't noticed because I haven't been training like the same way at all. But I haven't noticed that my body is not recovering or having a hard time recovering. That's, yeah. And there was times also where I wasn't taking stuff in my career, like, you know, whenever I was regularly taking stuff, I would, you know, sometimes I would go off for a couple months, and recovery was never something that I felt a huge difference in. I'm not sure. Maybe that's because of the way I train. I use the conjugate system, where you have 72 hours of recovery in between upper body max efforts and lower body max efforts. So I've always felt pretty recovered. And yeah. And now I'm doing more like CrossFit. I'm still doing lifting, but it's mostly like volume, like light volume though, and CrossFit, running, stuff like that. And yeah, I don't have a problem with recovery. Did you stop Cooptastic? Did you stop due to family planning? No. Dan1233, favorite PED. There was like a lot of questions to me, and I'm like, I don't really need to answer that shit. It's not really fucking relevant, but whatever. It's written here, so I'm gonna answer it. Anavar, hands down. Tana Helen. Did you notice a difference in hair growth on legs, face after stopping? Yes, I did notice a difference on my legs. Around like the last year of taking shit, I noticed like that I was like getting way hairier like on the inside of my legs, like the inside of my thighs and stuff. Cause like I have blonde hairs and I'm not naturally a hairy person at all, but definitely taking shit, like yeah, it turned me into a hairy person. Even though like I'm fair skinned and I have blonde hair, like I just had blonde hair growing. But on the inside of my legs, like that was like a darker hair and it was like more coarse. And that stopped. That all stopped. And then also like some other hair like slowed down, like yeah. So that's good. But overall, not really, I would say. I still deal with like the day-to-day stuff that was caused by steroid abuse or usage. Arian892 or B92. Was it disheartening seeing your strength gradually decrease as steroids wore off? How did you deal with it? No, it wasn't. And I'm around, like I am a strength coach, so, you know, I'm around a lot of strong girls all the time. I watch their videos every week. I'm in the gym with them every single day. And no, I was never like jealous or bitter or anything like that. No, it was, I guess I was just done. And I was finding other things, you know, in life that made me happy, like spending time with my husband, riding horses, doing other stuff. Iron and Savagery Gregors. This is Paxter, our coach. He is coming to compete at my gym next month. He is a contractor in Afghanistan, and I can't wait to meet him. Keel, come here. Oh my god, people want to see you. Get here. I can't have a YouTube video without you. Get here. Kilo. Alright. What would you recommend to females, males who may be deciding to use for the first time? Guidance is lacking. They go through trials and sometimes destroy their bodies. I'm just gonna grab this little fucker 1 second. Come here. Advice to females starting would be Anavar only, 10 milligrams a day, 5 in the morning, 5 at night. Actually, you know what I recently heard? And I never used to split it up in 2 doses like that. Fuck, I could barely remember to take it once a day. So, yeah, I've recently heard that of a female that I coach splitting up their Anavar dose into 3, like every 8 hours. And I mean, it's working great for her. Anyway, so a little bit of Anavar for women would be my recommendation. And, well, actually, maybe SARMs, but I guess it's talking about real steroids. So Anavar And then for men, it would just be like 500 a test a week and nothing else. Have you taken VAR with birth control? If so, did you notice anything out of the ordinary? Mental state, weird shit on blood tests? Do you recommend a contraceptive other than condoms while on Anavar? No, I never took birth control with Anavar because most birth controls like contain estrogen, and that's obviously like the opposite of what you're trying to do there. But yeah, I would recommend getting an IUD, a non-hormonal one. They're like copper. They're good for 12 years, and yeah, you can have it taken out if you want to have kids, and yeah, it's super effective, and it's non-hormonal. Marcus Fitness Info, was it easy for you to notice differences in your personality and body, or did your friends tell you first? Assuming person is healthy, is there a point someone needs to reach before PEDs? Age, diet, gym goals? No, I did not really see drastic changes or anything like that. I didn't really notice stuff. I mean, yeah, as my training changed, I kind of got skinnier and leaner and just smaller. Like especially looking back at pictures, and it wasn't that long ago. But I guess, I mean, everybody did notice, and they would say stuff, but I saw the difference too. So, but it wasn't. Sorry, the question was it easy for you to notice differences in your personality and body? Yeah, it was easy to notice differences in my body, but that took a while. It wasn't like after 3 or 4 months, like I looked completely different. It was like maybe like a year later. And my personality, I don't think anything changed in my personality. Actually, yeah, I'm less irritable now. And now, whenever I get really like irritable, it reminds me of like, yeah, at that time, like a couple of years ago, whenever like I was just like the cat could fucking meow and it would just like send me over the edge. So I never even thought about that actually until now. So good question. And assuming person is healthy, is there a point they should reach before starting to use gear? Yeah, I think all of those things that you mentioned, age, diet, gym goals, age, diet, yeah, and like how far along like their base is, like how long they've already been lifting. But to me, it's pretty different, case to case. So it's hard for me to answer that question. But I mean, obviously after like they're done puberty, and I'm just gonna turn on my other little kitty light. So yeah, obviously not like before then. And everything else should be in check, like they should have kind of maxed out all the other avenues before going down that route. And we say that, but then it's like we're humans, like we want everything yesterday. And I know like for me, as soon as like I found out about steroids, like that was like the easy thing. Like that, to me, that meant that like I didn't have to work so hard at all those other things like diet and all this shit. And that was my mentality getting started, and I'm sure it was a lot of your fucking mentalities too. And now, like, as we look back, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have fucking done that, maybe I should have done this, and this first. But yeah, so whenever I'm coaching somebody and they want to get on shit and I don't think they're ready, I have a good influence on them, strong enough influence where I can talk them out of it or talk them into a milder alternative until they get to a place where I think they would be ready. And anyways, funny enough how those people, I'm just like, where are those people today? Yeah, they don't usually stick around because they have a hard time with commitment and doing things that take a long time the right way. But anyways, JW lifts, did you go through depression when you stopped because of loss of strength? Did you lose strength? Did going off gear play a factor on why you went to CrossFit? Right away I want to get defensive. It's like I didn't go to CrossFit. Like I've owned a CrossFit gym for 2.5 years and I've just been doing some CrossFit workouts. I don't think I've ever done a CrossFit class like in a group. I just like training like that. Anyways, did you go through depression? No, I did not go through depression, and like I said, I wasn't upset at all by the loss of strength. And going off gear and the way I train now, they honestly, it wasn't like a planned thing like that. I just went off, and then it was like probably like 6 months after that I started training more with like conditioning and stuff. So they weren't really related. Jetter Lewis said, "Is it detrimental to health? Do those effects go away after coming off?" I mean, I'm sure it can be, like, depending on how bad it's abused, but to me and my health, no, it wasn't, and so there was no effects to go back after coming off. Mitch Hale, recommendations as a PCT for heavy trend 12 weeks. Should OSTA be used during PCT, or does it interfere with normal test production? I don't understand the question, and I won't respond to it. Lucille Bluth, Arrested Development. I mean, heavy trend for 12 weeks, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna fucking need some kind of a PCT. And I don't know what OSTA is. Some kind of anti-estrogen, maybe? Anyways. Should OSTA be used during PCT? Oh, I don't know. Does it interfere with normal test production? I don't know. Yeah, you probably get better advice from a male on male stuff. I don't really know that much about steroids. All I know is what I did and how it affected me. So, I never fucking claimed to be an expert on steroids. I just am willing to talk openly about what I did. So, anyways, if you were to do it all over again, this is Broccoli Shockley, nay, stirs. What would you do different now knowing what you do? Yeah, I would definitely do things different for like, because when I started, I was on all kinds of just crazy shit, and knowing what I know now and seeing the amazing results my clients get by just taking Anavar, I would have just taken Anavar in the beginning, you know, at least for the first couple of years. And that's that's where I would have started. I never would have done test. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, maybe I would have, like, during that time. Like, I remember like sneaking, like taking test, and like the person I was dating at the time, like, they didn't even know. Like, I was like doing it like behind their back, because like I couldn't gain weight, and there was this big meet coming up, and I wanted to gain weight so fucking bad. I wanted to be so big and so strong that I was like taking tests in secret, and that's like how bad I wanted it. So if I were to do it all over again, it's hard to answer that question, because like now I'm in the head space that I'm in now, where it's like, oh, that's not important to me anymore, is like being strong. But it was then, so I don't know. I mean, but because like, and people did tell me less is more, you know, but I mean, it's easier said than done whenever you want something and, you know, you want it bad. But yeah, to answer that question, like overall, I'd say yeah, I would have just done Anavar for a while first before getting into anything more serious. Okay. And Kumar Official, so would you still recommend PED after seeing what it can do? Well, it's not something I fucking recommend. Okay? It's like the last fucking... well, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've recommended it a couple of times to people I coach. As an absolute like last resort. We've tried everything, like, yeah, like we're just like hitting plateaus and switching up different training styles, and just yeah, so I have recommended it to a couple times, but I don't recommend it. And so I guess to answer your question, yes, I would still recommend it after seeing what it can do. Dana Rutt 3, is cardio in your regimen? Fasted or post lifting? Do you carb cycle? I don't carb cycle, and yes, cardio is in my regimen. It's never fasted because, yeah, I like to fucking eat. And I don't leave the fucking house before I eat food. It's usually post lifting, but sometimes it's before I lift, just to kind of like get it out of the way. Yeah, because like I said, I'm not concerned at all actually anymore, like about being strong. So sometimes I just like to get like the shitty stuff out of the way first, and then to like just like be able to have fun and shoot the shit while I lift and stuff instead of having that like looming, over me. But I do all different kinds of cardio. I probably run once or twice a week, and then a couple of days I'll probably like do CrossFit WODs, and then maybe one day I'll do like a row, like a 30-minute row or something like that. Um, and then a couple months ago I was doing like a lot more swimming, like not fun swimming, like hard swimming. Anyways, Cheryl Bockhorn asked, does it affect fertility? Yes, it does affect fertility. But I have completely gone back to normal, whereas like I didn't get my period for like a lot of years, and now I get a regular period every month. And I have seen other women have children after heavy steroid use, after they've gone off for a couple years. So I do think it's reversible, but I wouldn't bank on it. Kennedy, Kennedy Cobrian, have you switched to using SARMs? No. I've never tried SARMs. I thought about it or talked about it or both in a video I did last year, and I never even ended up getting info on it. DWood4446, best natural sup for strength. Well, what do you mean by natural? I mean, I'm sponsored by Prime Evil, and they, I should probably have them in this video. I should probably back up the lens. Yeah, my code is GraceyV25 for anybody interested. They sell the most legit pro hormones online. Valerie Sanchez, birth control experience after PED. I have an IUD, and I explained that earlier. Carrie Guthrie, changes in voice before, during, and after. Well, my voice changed from taking shit, and I'm pretty sure that it never went back. Or you can wait a month after this video has been up and go look in the comments and see what people have to say about my voice. Joke. But yeah, no, I don't think it changed. I mean, I still get called sir all the fucking time on like customer service hotlines and shit. Hotlines. Whatever. Anytime I call a customer service number for a company. Angela Leader, what effects were permanent? I would say all the effects were permanent. Yeah, so everything you read, all the side effects from like female steroid use, they're all permanent. And like I said, pretty much the only thing that changed was like a little bit of like leg hair growth. But that was maybe like it was because it was like just starting to happen. But yeah. Everything is permanent. Mrs. Van Gainswick, do you miss PEDs? No. Dank X Daddy 69, plan on ever competing at that level again? No. I am competing for the first time since last year's Olympia. I did last year's Olympia clean. I was probably like, well, I was still like strong from like taking stuff for so long. Come here, honey. But this year, that's not the case. I am not still strong, but I'm doing it because, yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's deadlift only in single play. It's a week from, it's actually in a few days. It's Friday, September 15th. Okay, Rob Spence, most powerful steroid you've taken with intense strength gains? Testosterone. Test probe. Del Forel, USAPL win. No, that's dirty as fuck, and I would never do that. I have seen it a lot though. People competing in the USAPL after they've been off stuff for a while, and I think it's real fucking dirty. And I would never fucking let one of my clients do that. I can't even pronounce this. Anyways, Eliminac Seal? Sorry, Ellie McNeil. Okay, are you more happy now? Yes, I am much happier now. Jay Caracqua, opinion on Larry Wills. That dude is fucking strong as fuck, and he is lifting in my meet in the spring, and hopefully he doesn't hurt himself this year. Knock on wood. Yeah, he's doing the US Open again in May. Next year, next May, so I'm very excited. He is one of my favorite lifters. I love the way he lifts, I love the way he looks, and he is definitely a fan favorite. Come here! You're gonna come here right now. Alright, I got my prisoner. He's staying here. Okay, Joe Bro Miley Strongman. If someone is depressed and decides to use PEDs, does it affect mental state? Yeah, I have seen it improve mental state in men. I haven't ever really noticed anything in women, but yeah, there's a couple people in a couple cases that I remember that, yeah, it has improved mental state for men. Honestly, I think like all men should take test, whether they're lifting or not. Like, if they're like 35 plus, I just think that it's like really drastically will improve the quality of your life overall. TX Lex asked Anavar, typical cycle length, question mark, dose, time frame, when. For a woman, okay, I'm not gonna say my experience because I didn't do things like typically, but typical cycle length, I would say anywhere from, well, I would say around at least like I would say around 16 weeks would be good. Anything under 12 weeks, I mean, it takes about a month for it to start working, so, or for you to really start noticing changes. Yeah, so I would say 16 weeks. Dose, 10 milligrams a day. Time frame, like I said, 5 in the morning or 5 at night, or if you can break it up into 3 dosages throughout the day, that might be more beneficial. And when, well, that answers that question. The Dangarang asked T-ball, John Jones was taking. Thoughts? Have you ever used it? No, I've never used T-ball, but I'm pretty sure that I was sold Anavar that was actually D-ball once. That wasn't good. Yeah, 123 asked, did you feel more aggressive or dominant? Did you have more energy while using? Was sex drive more intense? Did you notice differences in the way of fat, breast, butt, hips, face was distributed? Did it change when you stopped? Medical side effects like blood pressure, heart, kidneys, liver. Did you have a regular period while on? Did it change coming off? Okay, my camera just cut off, but just answering this, I'm not sure like how much it cut off, but did you have more energy while using? No, definitely not. I was a lot more sluggish whenever I was using gear. I was a lot bigger. I was like 20 pounds heavier, and I never did any cardio. So, yeah, I did not have a lot of energy at all. And yeah, and did you feel more aggressive or dominant? Yeah, maybe I felt more aggressive, but I don't think that's changed too much, honestly. Like I said before, like in the irritability, my irritability levels probably calmed down a bit, but yeah. So cool. Oh, we're not done. Okay. Garrett Koa meter. Those were from Instagram. These were from Facebook. You're just gonna stay right here. Okay. Here, Kilo wants to be in there a little bit more. Spot injections, test suspension, and Tren Hex in the pecs prior to chest day. Recommendations 25 gauge and okay. Some people thought this was a joke, but it's written here, so I'll answer it. I've only used test suspension a couple times, and I shot it up in my like ass hip region, so I don't know anything about Tren Hex. And yeah, I pretty much always used a 25 gauge nail. Sean Casey Williams asked, any regrets? No, I don't have any regrets. Bob Nordstrom asked, how much does it affect your healing? Not sure really what that means, but probably he was talking about like recovery. And like I said before, I don't really notice anything because I feel like I'm just like so much more fit now, and yeah. So I feel like my body can like take better care of itself now that I'm so much healthier. Um, and I say healthier, like I mean like the way I'm training. So Eric Bleckerberg asked, "Did you get a muscle biopsy done while on PEDs? Would be interesting to compare before, during, after." No, I didn't. Yeah, that would definitely be interesting to compare, though. And if you ever hear of anybody that gets that, tag me in that shit because I'd be very interested. Miriam Castro asked, Meerkats, are you on any other treatment like bioidentical hormone pellet therapy? No. Winston Loeb asked, mental psychological changes. I would say just in, like I said a couple times prior, like the irritability. I feel like my fuse is a little bit longer now. Amanda Patricia Gonzalez asked, did your diet change drastically while on and or off? No, it didn't. I mean, I eat a lot less now, but I still eat the same thing, like ground meat and rice a few times a day. You know, eggs and toast in the morning or whatever. Trudy Hare asked, did you change your clean date? No, my clean date is October 4th, 2006. I will have 11 years clean in a few weeks. Clean from mind-altering substances, drugs, and alcohol. I don't consider performance-enhancing drugs to have ever made me high. I never got high off them, that's for sure. So, yeah. Tanya George asked, again, we find ourselves in a similar place. I love being off, but there are bits I miss. I feel like I have unfinished business on the platform that I won't do off. Is this something you feel? Yes, all the time. And I coach at a lot of big fun meets, and I'm like, fuck this, I miss this so much, you know? But just like, I know that I won't ever hit PRs off. You know, I know that I would have to go back on. So it's like, I'm like, well, what's like the point of competing if I'm not going to hit PRs? So maybe I can't really relate in that. I don't feel like I have unfinished business on the platform. Like I've hit like these like round numbers, you know, that I wanted. Like I wanted to squat over 500. I squatted 512. You know, I wanted to bench over 300. I benched 315. Actually, I've always wanted to deadlift 500, and my best in the meet is 490. So, but I've never felt like that was like unfinished. Like I've never had the desire to, yeah, to go back after that 500. So, but I do understand how you feel, and yeah, it just wouldn't be worth it for me. And I don't want to be that big again. I don't want to feel that way again. Sean Davis asked, what is PCT like for women? Did you PCT? What is normal protocol, and how did you feel PCTing? I'm not sure if that's a normal protocol for women. It could be. Maybe women who have like drug coaches and stuff, you know, and real smart people helping them, maybe that is a protocol, but I never really had any guidance like that. And no, I never did. I just stopped taking it cold turkey right after a meet, the way I always would, for like a week or two. Usually I'd go off of everything. And actually not a week or two, I'd go off for longer than that. Like usually I'd go off like long enough to get my period, but that didn't always happen. Like it usually never happened. So I usually go off for like 4 to 6 weeks, and then I'd be like, hey, fuck it, I'm going back on. But yeah, I just never went back on. Okay, and that's all the questions, guys. So that wraps it up. Look at this little guy. Oh my god. Whoa. Sorry. Thank you guys for asking the questions, and thank you, Stephanie Kaiser, for writing them out. And yes, the last time I did anything on YouTube, it was like a little vlog thing before my husband deployed. So the deployment's almost done now. He'll be home in less than a month, and that's really cool. So maybe I'll do another one soon. Or if you guys have any ideas for like YouTube videos, yeah, just let me know and I'll do them.